Welcome to another episode of The Actors Brand. My name is Helena Sante. Today we're talking auditions and self-tapes. But if you haven't watched any of the previous episodes yet, please go and watch them. Subscribe to this channel, like, and share. We'll be happy to know to read your comments as well. Share your opinion on what your experience has been so far. So click. All right, so we're talking auditions and self-tapes. I made a pre-recorded video, few minutes, of how the basic way of setting up for a self-tape. Now, we're gonna go and watch that, and then when we come back, we go deep into auditions. I don't like auditions. I have serious phobia for auditions. But as an actor, how do I overcome it? I don't think I have any choice, right? I don't know. There's this thing about auditions that gives me, I get the phobia for, like, idea of having people sit down and, I don't know what they're thinking. They're looking at you. Did you do well? Did you not do well? Did you deliver? That whole scenario, that whole setup just gives me the chills. So when you tell me audition, I start shaking. So if you're someone out there who don't like audition like myself, please comment below. Let's share ideas. Let's power together, or let's power together and see how we can overcome this. Because auditions, if we are to choose, I would choose self-tapes. Thank God for self-tapes, self-tapes. Thank God for them. I'll choose self-tapes because with self-tapes, you get to pick your own reader. You get to, you get to review and then, or preview, sorry. You get to preview and then do it again and do it again till you're satisfied with it. And then you send it across to wherever. But auditions is like right there, like in-person audition. I'm talking in-person audition because self-tape is also audition. I'm talking in-person audition. It scares me. I don't know how I got through it at the start of my career, all the years way back in West Africa. I don't know how I got through that. But anyways, let's go watch the short video of the basic way of setting up for self-tape, and then when we come back, we will go straight and talk more about auditions, in-person, self-tapes, and all the juicy stuff. Okay, see you shortly. I do my self-tape. Okay, so this is my camera. We have that set up. Now, first thing you need to know about going into self-tapes is that you need to have a clear background. You're not seeing my clear background right now, but the angle that I have is clear. And mind you that I can also crop out what I need to crop out because the main focus is my profile. If they could require a full body profile, they will request for a full slate. The slate is mentioning your name, your height, your location, and if you're union or non-union, you give that information. So this is all my setup for self-tape. I'm a little nervous, but don't worry. Like I said, audition always gets me. It's my phobia. And I'm trying my best to come out of it, but I know I'll get there. So yeah. Some people have colored backgrounds. They have blue, they have green, but for me, I have my white background, which I get to crop. And what they need to know, they want to see, as I mentioned before, is your profile. And my self-tape today does not require a slate. They've not requested for a slate. But I'm going to slate. No, I'm not going to slate. I'm not going to slate. I've already explained to you what a slate is. A slate is you do a vertical full body profile. You mention your height, your name, and your location, and if you're union or non-union. That's what slate is. It's basically a virtual introduction. It's basically a virtual introduction. So now you can see that I have my sides, and you've seen all the work I have done on my sides, right? Though I'm going to record and I'll insert the profile shot in the footage, and you're going to see everything that I'm doing. So this is my sides. You can see all the work I have done with my highlighter. We discussed about highlighters, right? Items actors should have, every actor should have. Now you would notice that, whoops. You will notice that my sides or script is not clipped together. They're not clipped together. Now, it's very important when you're doing a self-tape because of noise and sounds, background sounds and noise. You do not want to clip you don't want to have your sides or your script clipped together, because if you have to flip page, you're going to go, and the sound is going to get into your shot, and you're gonna go, right? But if you have them like this, it is easy to finish reading. Gently slide underneath it. Gently slide underneath it. And you get very minimal noise in the background, okay? So this is basically the setup I have for my self-tapes. Miss Ashby, or Eve, first may I say it's an honor for you to be here. The world's leading prosecutor in international criminal law, and I got to ask a question. It's this. What motivates you to vomit all these neo-colonialist bullshit? Alright, welcome back. See? It wasn't anything so scary. It wasn't, it was just a basic. This is my basic setup for self-tape. Others have huge, extra, but this is my basic setup. This is just me. My starting my basic setup for self-tape. I hope it's encouraged you, or you're inspired to start where you are, or if you didn't know what self-tape was, now you have the video to help you to set up or understand it. It's nothing so scary, because you notice that I looked on my sides, and I didn't have a reading partner. I didn't have a reader. But I pretended that I had a reader, and it's all up here. I had to pretend that there was a reader, in my head, saying the lines, and then I delivered. But the most important thing I want to talk about is you notice I was looking down. Now, doing self-tapes, it's good to be off book as possible. Being off book means being memorized. You know all your lines. Now, if you're not completely memorized, it's not the end of the world. Don't stress out. You are allowed to read. You are allowed to look on your sides or your script during a self-tape. Even with in-person auditions, you're allowed to look on your sides, on your script. But it will help you as an actor build your confidence if you're off book. So as much as possible, try to be memorized. So I looked on because I needed the line, and I got the line, and then I looked back on my screen. Now you notice the profile shot as well, and my background was cleared. Anyways, so aside all that, now compare this to an in-person audition where you have the whole panel that you walk into. You don't know who your reader is. You don't get to choose your reader. I'm not trying to discourage you with in-person audition because I have phobia for it. I'm scared of it. No. You do, as an actor, you don't have a choice. You would have to audition. So you get to a point or a level in your career where it's not needed anymore, or it's not necessary for you to audition. They're just a phone call. Now I can say that I was fortunate enough that starting my career back in West Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, I went through a series of auditions, but I got to a stage in my life or my career, a point in my career where I didn't have to audition anymore. It was basically just phone call. Call Helen Asante. If she's available, she likes the script, the money is good, her schedule is cleared, or she's okay, and then we are good to go. So you will get to that point in life where you don't need to go for audition. I don't think Denzel Washington goes for auditions anymore. I don't think. And even if he does, it's on a very extreme private level. You would even call that audition. You call it like not even a cast read. Not even a table read. No, the word. There's a word for it. Like connection. Like, you know, if you're pairing me with Denzel Washington, I would have to have a read. You will have to have a read with him. The director wants to see the connection. There's a word for it. I don't know why it's not coming up. Oh, there's a word for that. There's a word for that. I would get it. There's a word for that. They would want to see, the director will want to see the connection between myself and Denzel Washington. And he doesn't have to audition. Me, of course, would have to audition. But what I'm saying is he's at the level where he doesn't need to audition anymore. It's just a phone call. But if you're starting up, I mean, like I said, I was fortunate enough that back home in Ghana or West Africa now, if I am like, I got to a point where I didn't have to do auditions anymore. It was just call Helen, you know, call Helen, and I'm available. But transitioning into becoming a global actor, I have no choice but to suck up to auditions, because this is my life now. This is what I have to do over and over and over again. I don't have any choice. I have to audition. Now is inevitable. So I need to get rid of my phobia. On a serious note, audition is part of a working actor's career. You would audition whether self-tape or in person. Self-tape or in person. Audition is there. Inevitable. You would have to, for a working actor, you'll have to go through a series of auditions. Depending on whatever level you are at, will determine what type of auditions that you would go into. There are private, very exclusive private auditions, and with top Hollywood stars, they don't even call it audition, they call it table read. Yeah, they call it table read. You know, so when you get to that level, you would know. It will come, it will be there naturally, you would know. But for startup, please understand audition. Get yourself into it. Be ready for it. Like I am inspiring myself to get off the phobia and get more into it, be ready for auditions. Now that we talked about self-tapes, we know what self-tape is as an actor, we know what in-person audition is as an actor. What is your preference? If you had your way, or let's just say you don't have, I'm not even going to ask for your preference, because you never know what job is ready for you out there, what the requirement is. Self-tape, in person, whatever it is, you need the job, so you need to do it. You need to be ready, you need to do it. Now let's talk about how you get into auditions, how you get auditions. We've talked about how to tape it, what type of auditions there are out there, but how do you get it? How do you get through the door? How do you get the audition calls? Okay. The only way, or one of the ways for you to get auditions or get through auditions, is to have an agent. Once you have an agent, all your audition calls comes from your agent. They do all the submitting for you, and all you have to do is be present, be ready to go and audition or send in your self-tapes. So what if you don't have an agent? What is the other way or the other platform for you to get yourself auditions? Well, there are online platforms, there are online subscriptions that you can sign up on, and you get notified for auditions where you can submit for yourself. If you're non-union or you don't have a representative, these online platforms, there's a networking online platforms where they are posting constant auditions where you can submit for. That's why you need yourself a selfie stand or a phone tripod, to be ready, because there's constant auditions online on various platforms. So this is how, or one of the ways that you get yourself auditions. But for me, I recommend having an agent, because the agent takes care of all the hard work for you. I would say the hard work into getting the good projects your way. They know what your strengths is, so they submit for you on projects they believe that you would do well for. So having an agent is very key. As a working actor living abroad, having an agent is very key. Okay, it's been so great talking about auditions and self-tapes. Now we know how to do audition, or what audition entails, how to get your auditions by having an agent, and online subscriptions and all of that. I did mention where I started from, and if you're in Nigeria, in Zimbabwe, you were in Kenya or wherever, and you do not, you'd probably think, okay, there is no auditions, there's no agency for me here, or there are no agencies out here. Remember that. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. When the director or a project is coming out, they always put out a flyer. So be on the lookout for flyers. Back in Africa, that is how I got by with auditions. Be on the lookout for flyers, or even sometimes they put them on WhatsApp groups, flyers on WhatsApp groups, and they share them on their social media pages. You would find them. Don't get discouraged. Very soon, Africa will pick up on having its own casting agencies, and all these all these wahala will be a thing of the past. So don't get discouraged at all. I know of directors or producers that put out notice on flyers, hey, there's an audition, we're having an audition, or we are casting for this and that. And also follow some producers, because every time they're going to produce something, they put it out there. Anytime they need a cast, they put it out there. So remember all of that we've talked about. having your headshot, and building your profile. Have your headshot and build your profile, whether you have experience or not. I mean, profile, just tell something about yourself. Your name, your height, your weight, your shoe size, your clothes size, all of those details, what your special skills are, just have them. If you don't have any acting experience, state I don't have an acting experience. When they see your profile and they call you out for an audition and you do well, that is your starting point. So don't give up. Don't underestimate small opportunities, because those small opportunities blows up in your face to be bigger opportunities, or be a big opportunity that you didn't even know or you didn't see coming. Thank you so much for watching. I have enjoyed my time talking about this. I'm gonna leave you with this favorite quote of mine that keeps me encouraged all the time. Remember, with God, all things are possible. Bye.